Tuesday, Safer Internet Day. You're right, KP. That's it. It is Safer Internet Day. Hey, y'all. It's great to be with you this evening. And I'd love if everybody who's joining us, could you let us know? And I just got that, KP. Thank you. Would you let us know in the chat where you're joining from? I would love to know where's everybody joining from? Just drop it in the chat if you can. I'm over here in Houston. Just came from Hill Country today. But you might be wondering, as you're dropping in the chat where you're joining us from, you might be wondering, who's this guy? What qualifies him to be talking to us tonight? And I'm glad you asked. Danny's from Austin. Hey, Danny. Glad you're here. Amarillo, KP's in Amarillo. Amarillo by morning is all I can think of when I think of Amarillo and Cadillac Ranch. Well, hey, y'all, my background is in media strategy. It's in trying to reach more people online, working with brands and companies and ministries to do that. And the more time I've spent living in this online world that we're all surrounded by and that our students are growing up in, the more I've realized all the downsides that can come with it. And you pair that with my wife, Alexa. She spent time in the classroom as a second and third grade teacher. So not only do I see and feel the effects firsthand that come with all this tech, but I've heard so many of the stories of things that our students are facing. And so that's why I believe in this work that we're doing so much at Parent ProTech. And at Parent ProTech now, we have a full team and we're all dedicated to keeping students safe online. So we have everyone ranging from parents, educators, tech experts, all trying to accomplish this goal together. And at the end of the day, this is our mission. We say if we can keep one student from being cyberbullied, from meeting a stranger and interacting with someone you probably wouldn't want them interacting with on one of these, from becoming addicted to a screen, if we can help just one, that's a win for us. That is why we do what we do. So we want to help your students build a healthy relationship with all the tech in their lives. So that's our goal. Now, at the outset, I just want to say we're talking about tech. Some people ask me, are you going to tell me I need to throw it away, get rid of it, that it's all bad, that it's ruining my kids? And we want to be realistic about the situation with tech. And so, no, I'm not going to tell you to throw it all away. There's a lot of good that can come from tech, a lot of redemptive aspects to the tech. But we want to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, and hopefully give you at least one practical tip, one thing that you can implement, can take away from our time together tonight. Okay. Let me know in the chat if you know, and we'll see how many of you actually, if you saw the site or if you read the description of the webinar. What day is today? What are we, anybody know what, in the US, what do we call today related to tech, in the tech world? Yes, KP said Tuesday. Tuesday, Safer Internet Day. You're right, KP. That's it. It is Safer Internet Day. And now if you don't know what Safer Internet Day is, there's you might not. I didn't years ago either. But the vision here is it's connecting with all the different groups and people who do work online and students and kids who are using the online world and talking about how to make it safer, how to make it better. What does it look like to engage and use tech responsibly? And we can't talk about Safer Internet Day right now without talking about, I think, the most rapidly evolving and advancing part of tech, and it's AI. So we're going to spend the rest of our time together talking a bit about AI, talking about how fast it's developing, what you need to know about it, and hopefully some practical conversations you can have with your kids about AI. But I'm curious, would everybody let me know, do you use AI? And if so, how do you use it? Is there a chat bot you like to use? Is there a practical tool you found that you enjoy using? Drop in the chat and make sure it's to everyone so everybody can see. I'd love to hear and see how you're using AI, or if you're using AI. And if you have kids, are they using AI? Let me know in the chat. Kenzie says, any Gemini users? Okay, I like Gemini. I'm a little partial to ChatGPT myself. But what about y'all? Danny says yes. Stephen, cleaning up email and social media post. Good deal. Anybody else? Well, I use AI to help me reword emails or find research, KP. That's a great point, KP. That's a great practical way to use it. I'm the same thing. Even if you ever need feedback, it's a great place to go. Finding errors, things like that. Okay, well, let's start out with a game. And I know KP and Kinsey have probably played a version of this game before because I love to play a version of this game. So no hints, y'all. But and also before I go any further, also I mentioned KP and Kinsey. If you don't know this team, let me just say they are first rate and they care so much about equipping parents and families across Texas. And for the past goodness, probably a couple years that I've known them, I just cannot speak highly enough of them. So shout out to KP and Kinsey and the whole team. Y'all are just awesome. Seriously, y'all are awesome. But okay, we're gonna play a game where we're thinking about AI, and we're gonna go through some videos that are either real or AI generated, and I want you to guess. And so we're gonna start out with I'm gonna put a couple side by side, and I want you to guess which one is AI. Okay, here we go. We got these two cars. Which one do you think is AI, right or left? Throw it in the chat. We'll play it again for you. What do you guess? Right or left is AI? Okay, we got a one right and one left. So we have two different votes now. Anybody else? Anybody else want to take a stab at it? Which one is AI? Okay, left. I've got a couple more votes coming in on the left. So actually, this right video is AI. And so that means this left video did actually happen. But the giveaway here is you see the text at the top of, I think this vehicle is supposed to imitate like a Land Rover, a Range Rover of some sort. But if you look closely, you can see the text right there. It says Danover or something. And that is one thing, for whatever reason, right now, some of these AI models are having a hard time with. It's generating text on videos that looks exactly correct. So that one's AI. Okay. What about this one right here? Right or left? Which one do we think is AI? Got some drone shots. Right or left? Any guesses? Play it one more time. Left? Got a couple left. KP said, who cares? They're both amazing. That's great, KP, right? I want to see either of them. I don't. So the right one is AI. So it's getting harder and harder to tell the difference. Okay, let's do speed run. Let's do a few faces. We'll do some close-ups. Real or AI? What do we think? Is this face a real human or is this AI generated? That one's AI. What about right here? What about this little fella? Real or AI? He is, in fact, AI. Man. Okay, what about her? What do we think? Look at the eyes, the teeth, the hair. Real or AI? Let me know in the chat. What are you thinking? Any guesses? See real? See AI? Okay, couple more. What do we think? Real or AI? Any guesses? We got one more after this. Someone got it. Someone said AI. Yep, she's two guesses for AI. She's AI. And her last one here, real or AI? She's AI. Well, okay, did anybody get 100% correct? Let me know in the chat. Did anybody get 100% correct? No, no, no. Yeah, that's the challenge. I say, hey, welcome to the world of AI in 2026. It's becoming really, really tough to differentiate the real from the fake online. And even as we look at social media platforms, the CEO of Instagram has recently even highlighted how now we're reaching this point where there is more AI generated content shared to Instagram than there is real content that was captured in real life. There is more AI content being shared every single day. So it's an awareness that I think is really important and foundational for all of us to have, that this is the world that when our kids are getting online, this is what they're stepping into. So what's the takeaway for all of us here? It's critical thinking is so essential. Whenever you see something online, it's really important that you verify the source. It's really important that you double check, maybe do a little homework on your own to see, hey, is this actually something I should believe? If you see maybe a celebrity, excuse me, an athlete, a leader, political leader saying something that's inflammatory or endorsing a product, it's really important that you ask questions and that your kids don't just accept everything that they or we see online at face value. Because sometimes and many times there can be these AI generated information, videos, photos, even audio signatures that we might see shared. So it's important to just be aware of this. And there's one law that I think just captures how quick this tech is developing. And it comes from Gordon Moore. So this is Gordon Moore. He was one of the co-founders of Intel. Many of you are familiar with Intel. If you're not, I'm willing to bet that you probably have one or more devices in your home that have an Intel chip. They've been making chips for decades, ever since 65. That's when Gordon Moore initially came up with this idea, this concept that he called, that's come to be known as Moore's Law. And basically what he meant by this is he said, I think our tech is going to improve about 2 times every couple years. We're going to be able to get it faster. We're going to make smaller chips that can do more. And every couple years, it's going to get about 2 times better. Well, that's held up for about 60 years. But now, when we look at the situation right now with AI, it's a lot different. This is Mustafa Sullivan. He's the CEO of Microsoft AI. And he says right now, our tech is getting better and improving at a rate of about 10 times every single year. So why am I telling you this? Well, right now, AI is the worst that it will ever be. And so if you're not talking about this, if you're on the fence of saying, hey, I'm just not so sure, I don't want to bring this up, I don't want to use it, I say, would you rather your kids find out about it or interact with it from someone else or from you? Because we can't escape this. This is the tech world that we're all living in, and it's only getting better. Okay. Over the past few years, as I've been working with AI and learning more about AI, there have been some people who I've heard, kind of say, "Hey, I'm not going to get into that AI stuff. That's just not for me." And while I respect it, what I'm saying is, hey, it's more widespread than even we realize. And a question for all of us is, have you ever used Instagram or Facebook? Let me know in the chat if you've ever posted anything publicly to Instagram or Facebook. And I'll tell you first that I have. So anything that I say applies to me. So let me know in the chat, have you ever posted publicly to Instagram or Facebook? Okay. Steven says yes, often. Kuzi says yes. Danny, Instagram, but no public posts. You're smart, Danny. Okay, you're better than a lot of us. I applaud you. Well, if you see in the bottom right corner, I put in quotation marks, thank you from Meta. And the reason that I put this is most of us, when we sign up for accounts like Instagram or Facebook, if you're like 99% of us, you probably didn't read the full terms of service. But one thing that's included in Meta's terms of service for their products is that if we ever post publicly to these social media platforms, we are giving them the full permission to use our videos, our images, our text, our voice, any format of our likeness that we share publicly on Facebook and on Instagram. We're giving them full permission to use this to build their AI models, to improve their AI models. So what does that mean? That means that anything that you generate with Meta's AI could be informed by your audio, by your video, by your photos, by anything that you have shared on a Meta platform. It's a little scary, if I'm being honest. It's a little scary, but that's the reality. And MIT even, they have highlighted this. And here's how they've put it. You should think of everything you put out on the internet freely as potential training data for someone to do something with. We all know that these AI models are only built and informed by data, by information. And these companies, many of them have scraped all the publicly available data on the web. So what does that mean? Anything that you share and anything that I share, if it's public, it's fair game for these companies to use that to train a model. And then that model may generate text, audio, video, what have you, that might look like us. It might sound like us. It might match our likeness. Now, when we think about how this tech has evolved, I mean, these are just some of the stories from the past year or two. We had in Singapore, we had a financial worker who paid out $25 million after a video call with a CFO was actually a deep fake. It was an AI deep fake. Now, this worker did their due diligence. They got a phone call requesting for this $25 million to be sent. They said, wait a second, this could be a little fishy. Let me get on a video call. They went the extra step of the video call, and that is when an AI video call, an AI likeness of someone was used. They fell for it. That's just one example. But now I want to get more specific to kids and students and how this is playing out with them. So if you had to guess, and here you can see, these are just some of the big chatbots that we hear talked about, ranging from Meta to Character AI to ChatGPT to Snapchat's My AI, Google Gemini, Perplexity, Grok. The list goes on. Let me know in the chat if you use any of these, or if you have a favorite, or if your kids have a favorite. And I want you to guess something as well. If you had to guess, what percent of high school students say they use generative AI tools for schoolwork? What percent? Let me know in the chat. What percent of high school students report using these tools for schoolwork, for completing their homework? What number? Is it 10%? Is it 90%? Danny says 75. Steven says 80. Shay says 90. JP says 60. Good guesses. I mean, I have to say, you're all in. Kusi says 100. You're all in the right ballpark. This number, again, comes from the College Board. Last year, they found 84% of high school students were self-reporting that they're using AI for homework. Now, let's just be honest. I was talking with some parents last night, and they said anyone who says they're not using AI in any way for their schoolwork is probably not telling the full truth. And that's reality. So 84% say they're using generative AI for schoolwork. And we can imagine that some of those others probably just weren't willing to admit that they are, or that they have. Okay, let's take it a step further, because we know there are many chatbots that are designed for productive purposes, more educational purposes. But now there's this entirely new breed of chatbot that we see available, and many of these companies are really targeting students. They're really targeting kids and teens, and it's these companion chatbots, AI companion chatbots. Now, these are more designed to really just emotionally connect, to build a relationship with, to conversate with kids. Okay, if you had to guess, what percentage of teens are using AI companions? Or what percentage of teens have used AI companions at least once? Any guesses? What percentage? And again, we're talking about teens. And these are companions that aren't designed for productive purpose. They're just designed for emotional connection. 50% says Danny. Good guess. So this number, 72%, nearly 3 out of 4 teens in the US say they've used an AI companion at least once, with over half of them using them regularly. Even Sam Altman, he's the CEO of OpenAI, the parent company for ChatGPT, and he's talked about, even recently, how one of the top uses, the number one uses for ChatGPT is therapeutic uses. It's people going to this AI just to talk about life. And really, the reason that I tell you this, and the reason that I think we should be aware of this, is it really comes to light when you put it in perspective. And this is another number that stands out to me. The American Psychological Association, they found that about 40%, 4 out of 10, 2 out of 5 teens in the US don't receive the social and emotional support they need. So right now, this is the challenge kids are facing. Many of them feel like they're not getting their emotional needs met with other relationships, with their friends, with their family. So they're turning to tech. And even over the past few months, I've talked with a pediatrician who does a lot of work focused on tech specifically. He's founded a clinic in Boston. Over the past 20 years, he's worked with hundreds of students who are struggling with tech, struggling with an unhealthy relationship with tech. And when he talks about the students who are really struggling, time and time again, he says, Joshua, it's not a tech issue, it's a people issue. He says time and time again, when I'm working with these students, they feel like their parents aren't paying them enough attention, or their parents aren't interested, or they can't go to their parents. And maybe that issue just plays out on tech. But he said, it's not just an issue of a matter of more parental controls. At the end of the day, it's really a relationship problem. That's the challenge. So take his word, not mine. But this is the why. So what's the takeaway for all of us? Hey, if you have a teen, if you have a child who's using tech, and maybe they're using these AI chatbots, maybe they're using AI companions, go talk to them about it. Go ask them questions. I'd encourage you on Parent ProTech. We have conversation starters. If you go to our website, you can see a whole list of our conversation starters all about AI chatbots, which would be a great place to start. And we think, hey, maybe the next time you're in the car, next time you're picking them up from school, next time you're at a family dinner, ask them a simple question. Say, hey, how are your friends using these AI chatbots? Or have you used one? Or what have you noticed about them? Or do you have a favorite one? Just get them talking, because I think, and we think, that is the best thing you can do to help you build trust with your child. Okay, why does this concern us so much? Why does this number concern us so much that over half of teens are using these companion chatbots regularly? Well, this report comes from Stanford, and I know this is a lot of words and reports. I'm sorry, I'll try to simplify it. But they found just this past year, they did this report kind of highlighting some of the danger. And really, they summed it up in saying that a chatbot, their social understanding about when to encourage something and when to discourage or challenge or disagree with the user, it's not well tuned. Now, what does that mean? Well, many of us have experienced, I know personally for me, I can ask ChatGPT for feedback. I know KP, we were talking about rewording emails, things like that. And I've noticed with ChatGPT, I can say something really wise and thoughtful, or something potentially not that wise and just silly, or whatever it might be. And whatever I say, the first response I'm going to get, the first line of the response, is probably going to affirm what I have put. It will say, oh, Joshua, I like the way you're thinking, but have you considered? Or that seems like a great place to start. And many of us have experienced that. And this report and these reports have found this proven time and time again. And this is where we see these stories that we've seen with young people, many of them, these very sad and horrific stories of companions, AI companions, encouraging young people when it comes to self-harm, when it comes to, here you see in the report, minimizing abuse, or even making sexually inappropriate comments to minors. I don't say this to scare us. I don't want to share this to scare us, but this is the challenge. These chatbots are not well tuned to fully understand your family values, to fully understand your worldview, to fully understand what your child is going through. And we have to remember, many of these models are experimental. They were pushed to market quicker than safeguards could keep up. So when your kids are using these tools, they might be using a tool that isn't exactly set up to protect them. And that's why I know many of us have seen these horrific stories, even in our own state, in Texas. Here we have just over the past year, a former student at A&M. He tragically took his life, and the one place he had gone for support, the one tool he had reached out to, was ChatGPT. And repeatedly, time after time, he had talked about his plans. He had talked about his pain with ChatGPT. And instead of directing him to resources, after a little bit of time, it wasn't doing that anymore. And it was just trying to comfort him, trying to even encourage him. And it's heartbreaking, but that is a prime example of some of the shortcomings of this tech. That's what we're facing. And when we think about where the tech is headed to, It can be a little overwhelming as well. I know even ChatGPT, they last year they said they were going to introduce adult, mature, erotica, as they call it, content on their platform in December. They have pushed that back to this year, but they still say that that is on their radar for this year, introducing this for adult users. So I don't. Again, I'm not just trying to overwhelm us with all the bad, but this is the challenge. Excuse me. So and we say when it comes to encountering the junk online, it's not a matter of if your student will encounter it, it's more a matter of when. So, again, would you rather them hear about it from you or from some friend at school or someone who might not be able to give them the full context of what they're encountering? Now, when we think about the dark sides of this tech, and I know many of you have probably heard about some of these deep fakes that have been just used to trick people, to used in all sorts of negative ways. One thing I want to highlight is we are seeing some progress, and the law is catching up. This is a picture of our CEO of Parent ProTech. This is Brock. He was at the bill signing for the Take It Down Act. And this has really given prosecutors more of a leg to stand on when it comes to prosecuting people who are using AI for negative purposes, for generating nude images or graphic, intimate images. Now there are this now law has instituted more responsibility, more accountability there. So we're seeing progress. We're seeing steps in the right direction when it comes to laws keeping up. But at the end of the day, the law will continue to take time to catch up to how fast this tech is developing. So as we wrap up, I know this has been a lot, but what do I want to leave you with? It's, hey, please begin the conversation with your child. We say start the conversation. And I think even if you take a step back, what's really important? I say think about what you're modeling. Think about what is the way that you're using tech in your home? What is the way that you're using AI? Are you modeling a healthy relationship? Are you using AI as a creative partner for feedback and revision and ideas and in a healthy, safe, constructive way? Or are you letting AI kind of replace your own creative thinking? Are you using AI in a way that's maybe a little more of a cop out? I know it's so easy to do. And so as we're trying to, encourage our kids to think critically and to work hard, think about what's the tone we're setting with what we're modeling. Are we starting the conversations? And then I would say a great thing to keep in mind, and is there are a number of tools to help with this. And I didn't fully plan on sharing this, but just something that I feel like many parents ask is they say, hey, is there a software that can help? Is there a tool that can help? And I would say there's one tool that recently we've gotten connected with this team called Aura. They have many based in Austin, and they're doing excellent work when it comes to protecting all of us online, protecting our information online, but also helping families equip their kids. And I have this here just to showcase. They even have AI app monitoring and alerts, and they, have tools that are focused on number one, setting parental controls, but also focused on online well-being. And this is something you can connect on your child's device. Or maybe they have a phone, maybe they have a tablet, and they're using it. They're using these chatbots, they're using social media. And Ara will help monitor that and give you a report based on their online well-being, saying, hey, here's how much time they're spending. Here's the type of content they're seeing. Here's what we're noticing. A lot of this, and as we're talking about AI, this is a prime example of using some of this tech for the positive. So that's just one tool I wanted to highlight. But also, I'd be remiss if I didn't say at Parent ProTech, we have a number of guides to help with this. I mentioned our guides when it comes to AI chatbots, when it comes to companion chatbots. Here you can see just a glimpse into the AI section of our library. If you go to parentprotech.com, you can get a free trial to access all of this. You don't even have to pay $1 to see the trial and to see everything. And this is just one example of, hey, these are tools that can help you start the conversation. If your child's using ChatGPT and you don't really know where to begin, or maybe you want to be sure that you're aware of everything that's available or how to use it, hey, start here. We have videos to walk you through, whether it's ChatGPT, whether it's Gemini, the list goes on. So I'd encourage you to start here. And if you have any questions, our team would be happy to hop on a call with you and talk more. So you can go to parentprotect.com. We have a contact us page. We will follow up with you. I promise. It's not AI. It's us, real humans. And we would love to talk with you because we are all trying to figure this out. And I know it can feel like a lot, but truly, we're in it together. And if any of you are in the classroom too, I'd say we have a K through 12 curriculum where we talk about everything in a very practical way. We have resources for the classroom, and we have videos that whether you're a parent, whether you're an educator, whatever your role might be, we have videos where we're talking to students in a language that they can understand about all of this. And here's one of those videos. I talked about it earlier, our AI chatbot video. I just happen to be the host, but we have a number of other people who contribute to these videos. And this would be a great place to start. A video to watch with your family to get this conversation going. So that's a lot of me talking, and I appreciate your engagement tonight. But there's one thing I want to end us with or leave us with, and it's just a challenge. And so I say, we've heard all this, we've heard the numbers, we've covered a lot tonight. But my challenge for you this week is if you have a child or a teen who is on some of this tech, maybe they love video games, maybe they love social media, maybe they love insert device here, whatever their passion is. My challenge for you is get in that space with them. Ask them about it. Take 20 minutes. If you know they're really interested in some tool or app, take 20 minutes to do a little bit of research about it. And then next time you're in the car with them, next time you're at that family dinner, next time you're sitting with them, you can ask them a question. You can say, hey, can you explain this to me? Or I'm trying to learn this. Or if they love a video game, go sit down with them and play it. And I've been given this challenge for a couple years in a lot of different places. And time again, we've heard so many stories of parents saying, you'll never believe what I learned when I took that 30 minutes to play that game with my child, or when I asked them about that tool that they love. I had no idea they were using it in this way. And we hear these stories time and time again. So my challenge for all of us is just take a little time this week to get with them in that environment they love, because not only are you going to learn about the tech, you might learn a little bit about the tech, but more importantly, you're going to learn a lot about your child and what their relationship with tech can show them about who they are, who they're becoming as well. So we've talked about a lot of heavy numbers, negative numbers, but just for a second, I want you to go with me and imagine where instead of 75% or 72% of US teens being shaped by companion chatbots, there is a world where they're more shaped by in-person relationships and connection. There is a world where students are more shaped by the conversations that you're having at home and how intentional you are with them than they are by the information that big tech is putting in front of them. All of this is possible, and it can start with you. So please, as you go about this week, remember that. And as we're wrapping up, I am happy to stay on. If anyone has a question, if anyone has feedback, any follow-up information, I would love to answer questions or talk about it now. Feel free to if you have a question, you can throw it in the chat. You can unmute your microphone. And if you have a question in the days to come, I would say go to parentprotect.com and let us know it, and we'd be happy to follow up.